So we have Mr. Balaji with us. He's the Vice President Automotive, VVDN, and we've had a very interesting discussion just now. And Mr. Balaji would explain us what kind of products they have for the electric mobility space. Mr. Balaji, over to you.
Right. So VVDN stands for Voice Video Data Network. So we were founded in 2007 and we are running 17th year now. And we are one of the leading Indian brands where we not only design products, we also design, develop, manufacture, ship it all to the customers. So for example, if you take the e-mobility space, we are one of the pioneers in developing the EV chargers right from scratch. So these EV chargers, be it 7.2 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt, are all shipped out to North American markets, as well as it's been sold to all the Indian markets. In fact, a lot of Indian OEMs as well. So this is one of the few companies where we develop the technology in-house. Right? So be it the mechanical, be it the hardware, be it the software, we develop the complete system in-house, we manufacture it, we test it, we validate it, actually. So that's one of the product which is EV chargers. And then on the ADAS space, we do a lot of products in ADAS space, including cameras. So it could be a front camera, and then it could do all the L2 ADAS, L2++ ADAS, and in fact we are now working towards L3 ADAS as well. So again, all the products including the hardware, the artificial intelligence, the perception stack, everything is built into the system and we sell it as a complete product. So yeah, we are pretty excited to be in the automotive space where all these stuffs are happening, and pretty excited to be leading the way here because all these technologies are just developed in-house. That's the key thing, right? So especially with the government's Make in India initiative, what we are able to do is we are able to get all these components fabricated, assembled, tested. So that's kind of one of the USP where it's not like, let's say we take a European technology and then we kind of change it and push it for Indian market. We don't do that. We do everything grounds up, collect all the models, collect all the data points, build up ground design, and then that's where you had a lot of control too. So that's what OEMs like, right? OEM doesn't want one more product from another market. Right. So that's one of the USP which VVDN has always been doing. So pretty excited to share that part too.
So sir, one thing that I'm really curious to know, this ADAS solution or the product is also used by ICE vehicles.
Correct.
So is there a different proposition that you have for electric vehicles, a different technology, pricing, or how do you promote it?
If you really look at ADAS as a technology, it doesn't differentiate whether there's an ICE vehicle or a electric vehicle. But what happens is the value which delivers. See, for example, ADAS for a commercial vehicle might serve a different purpose than ADAS on a passenger vehicle in electric. So the EV vehicles nowadays seem to have a lot of hi-fi technology stuff they want, right? So people are excited towards what is inside rather than, because EV eventually is just a battery and a motor. So what they want is these high-end technology. So that's where ADAS is L2, L2++, L3 is more preferred in the EV vehicles. Whereas on the ICE vehicles, what I would say is they just want the basic ones. Even the aftermarket ones where they just want to just say, hey, you know what, if the lane is being changed or if there's an emergency braking, just have those basic features. That's how I see the difference. So it's more sophisticated in EVs than in ADAS because EVs are Gen Z guys more, and so they want fancy features.
And I think design-wise also you get a lot of room to play and put in a lot of technology.
A lot of room, a lot of weight in terms of weight, in terms of form factor. You get a lot of stuff in terms of EV. But whereas in ICE, it's a standard architecture, so you really have some small spaces. So there's a size constraint, there's a weight constraint also, because weight is directly proportional to the fuel efficiency. So that's where it is. But camera-based radar is picking up. See, earlier ADAS systems would have camera, radar, lidars. What's happening nowadays is it's pure camera-based system because it's cost-effective and it's more accurate and it can easily upgrade through software. But the ideal goal would be to just have a camera, take software, take over the complete system and run with it.
And which segment other than passenger vehicle do you think these kind of technologies are?
Commercial vehicles are nowadays catching up, really. See, we used to think commercial vehicles as those old lorries with no cabins and very bad technologies. But trust me, in next 5 years you will start seeing commercial vehicles as good as this. Not just the in-cabin experience, but in terms of technology. Because what happens is with large tractors and trailers, so the surround view system, for example. See, taking reverse parking, keeping reverse parking was a big pain for lorries. What's happening nowadays is VVDN has a SVS camera system, so that gives you you can put all the 4 cameras across and you put a simple system there which can see all that. So the reverse parking is really catching up. So that's one technology that's catching up. Second thing is ADAS. A lot of drivers, they go long haul, they kind of start sleeping, they get restless and all that, right? So that's when the accidents happen. So these ADAS systems are actually, in fact, aftermarket fits also. They're not just coming with this stuff. So there's aftermarket fit. So it'll just keep monitor the driver, and there's a problem, it just alarms. It just beeps. So commercial vehicles are catching up. Not as sophisticated as passenger vehicles, but at least the basic safety things. So next 5 years, you would see commercial vehicles being really catching up on technology. So it doesn't differentiate.
And sir, coming to your EV chargers, how do you differentiate? Because there are a lot of these EV charging players which have entered in the Indian ecosystem, right? So how do you differentiate in terms of technology or your offering or pricing? How do you differentiate yourself from other EV charging
it really depends on what exactly you use. See, there are two. One is onboard charger, where you'll just have a packet kind of a thing. You just put it in your dicky, just go there, and whenever there's a problem, you just put it into a socket and do it. And then there's in-house wall mount chargers where you just keep it in the apartment. So that is, and then there's DC chargers, which are really fast chargers. So DC chargers are typically kept in petrol bunk kind of scenarios. Whereas onboard chargers will be in car. So in case there is a problem, at least you have an emergency thing. And then wall mount chargers. So these are the typical three ones. So onboard chargers or the ones in the vehicles, that's like 3.3 kilowatt. Home can be 7.2 to 11 kilowatt. DC is like 22 kilowatts fast charging. So depending on what we need, we just offer various solutions in terms of charging solutions. And then what is happening nowadays is vehicle to load. There's a V12 and there's a two-way charging that's hitting it. So what happens is you charge it and then it gives you back, and then you can just plug a light, lamp and things like this. So that's also fast catching up. So e-mobility, EV chargers are really, the technology is really coming up in India. But the drive is different, the feel is different, and not a lot of Indian houses has this kind of infrastructure capacity. So that's one thing which has to be really seen, challenging, because for petrol you just go there, 10 minutes you just fill it up and go away. The fastest here you would get is probably 6 hours and maybe 2 hours worst case, let's say. So that is one thing which I feel is a bit of challenging considering Indian condition. And we like to take loads, right? I mean, we don't just take car. I mean, we put the entire house in the car and try to push it. So that is going to really have some problem on the battery as well. So those are something which we need to really think. But then, like I said, we are catching up. The battery analysis, the fuel analysis, the load cell analysis, that's being improved. So eventually, like I said, another 2-3 years, we'll catch up. And it's pretty exciting though. So good for the environment anyways. So.
True. Amazing. Sir, thanks a lot for your time.
Anirudh,
It was really a pleasure understanding your product and company.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.